and welcome to Interviews from the Golden Beat 2. In this installment, we're talking to Dave Taylor about his song submission, Transsmison IV. And just a quick heads up, we had some technical difficulties with the audio during the interview. So the audio quality is not 100%, and part of the way through there is some noise. Thanks for listening.
Dave Taylor.
Hello.
How are you doing, my friend?
Pretty good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a while.
It has been.
Yeah. So you're doing well today. How are things?
Good. Good. I was just thinking earlier that we were talking about music before the interview started, and I haven't actually been doing that much music lately. It was kind of fun to go back and listen to the tune that I gave you, as well as some other stuff from that same project. I've sort of been taking it easy the last few weeks, and we're kind of looking forward to summer.
Right on. But like, if I remember correctly, in and around the time we were doing the Golden Beat, you were also working on another project. Was it music for Nosferatu?
Yeah. So that's with two of the guys that I usually play with, Kevin and Guillermo. That we did last October. So we did a project in about a week where they were asked by a theater from California called the Frida Cinema, which is in Santa Ana or Santa Clara. I'll have to figure that out and correct that. They, to do fundraising because of the lockdowns, they asked a bunch of bands to do instrumental improv scores to a bunch of old silent movies. So they picked us. Guillermo had met them the year before because he submitted a short film that he made for a festival they did, a horror festival. And I have no idea how that went from that to them discussing him being in a band and doing the Nosferatu thing. But yeah, glad it worked out. And we did the whole thing in about a week. Two recording sessions, a couple of planning, Zoom chats, and it was pretty quick. So it's not out yet. It's probably going to come out within the next couple of months.
Nice.
Or by Halloween. I don't know. I have no idea.
Have you seen the final product? Like, you've listened to it, but have you seen the?
I cut it. I cut it together. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when we were recording all the segments, we didn't do it in one 90-minute burst. We sort of had little sections and kind of worked on things, and then usually the first take of what we recorded is what's on the final thing. Had a couple of false starts. Yeah, most of the first takes. And so yeah, I recorded it there with a laptop, Ableton, 8 tracks, and 3 cameras around the room. And then, just mix it all in Ableton later at home and, put it all together with the film in, Premiere. We just have, full screen is the film, and then there's like a little window in the corner of just art footage of us, playing.
Oh, that's awesome. Where did you do the recording?
Our favorite spot, Cherry
Beach.
Yeah, Cherry Jam.
Very nice.
So the rooms are great there. I mean, just to play, but big rooms, and we've recorded there before.
Yes.
And stuff. And you always get a pretty good time.
Yeah. So outside of the Golden Beat and this movie project that you worked on, you have another band that you have been playing with,
right?
And you've been readying music to release, and I'm sure that the pandemic has definitely slowed that down. But can you give us a little insight into all of that delicious business?
Yeah. So Kev and Guillermo are in that group as well on bass and drums, and then our singer Alex sings and plays guitar and keyboards. Does a little bit of everything. Has to carry a lot. So,
as any good singer should.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him. He has to carry a lot of keyboards and cables. He's becoming a pro at it. So, yeah, we've been playing together for about a while, a couple of years, and yeah, we've got an album ready to go, and some leftover things. Yeah, we were ready to start playing live right before the pandemic. I remember Alex came to us at rehearsal in December of 2019 and said, guys, this is it. We're going to play our first gig in April. I don't know why he had April as the month. It's April 2020. We're going to play our first show. And then, 2 months later, the pandemic hit.
That's
Everybody, I mean, it's
yeah.
Everyone had a plan for last year. So
The sail was knocked out of those, or sorry, the wind was knocked out of those sails, right? So
yeah, for sure. But I mean, could be a lot worse, right? So it's just
100%.
something that happened, and yeah, hopefully we can. Presumably we're going to start rehearsing again this summer. We played last summer because it was between lockdowns and things were pretty relaxed. So yeah, we learned how to rehearse wearing masks. That was interesting, especially for a drummer.
Right, the whole breathing thing.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get back to that soon and actually play some shows and start putting stuff up.
Just real quick, we'll kind of bring everybody up to speed. Can you tell us about some of the instruments that you play as an artist?
Started off as a bass player. After a brief stint as a saxophone player, and couldn't lead anywhere.
Hold on. Look, okay, everybody, just so everybody knows, Dave and I have known each other for, how long has it been now? 25? 20?
Grade 9.
Since grade 9. It's been a long time. I think I just revealed a number there, but maybe Dave doesn't want me to reveal that number. You played saxophone?
Also sax.
Really?
Ottawa. Yeah.
I had no idea that you played saxophone.
Yeah.
Sexy sax man.
One semester,
Okay.
I didn't go back to it. It was great, but I didn't go back.
Okay, fair enough. I kind of want you to go back to it. I want to see that.
Maybe one day.
I'm gonna make you a pedal board for a saxophone. Okay, and it's gonna happen.
Maybe for like a public school reunion to show up and start playing sax again.
There it is. Okay. Oh, that's okay. So that's cool.
Yeah. So no, I started bass grade 9, and then quickly kind of just tried learning whatever I could. So mainly guitar and bass, but I played a little bit of drums and just enough keyboards to get by.
Nice. Just like the rest of us.
Yeah, just enough. And I can make loops, so that's that helps.
Nice.
Yeah, so this track is me playing the song I did for you. It's me playing everything. The drums, though, I mean, it is me playing drums. That was from another song that I recorded a year before Golden Beat project, and then so this song started off really electronic sounding, and then I added 1 or 2 guitars and immediately thought, okay, well, maybe I'll go that direction with having a full thing. But it was during the first days of lockdown and I couldn't record drums anywhere. I thought about calling you to see if I could come over, but I'm like, no, we're all social distancing. I didn't even ask.
Yeah.
And then just went through my archive and found drums I did at your house 2 years prior. That's what those live drums are. Me playing drums on another song of mine. I chopped them up a little bit and put them on this.
But that was a recording we did in the basement.
Yeah, it's your kit. The one that I can right in the That's it.
That's awesome. Well, they sound great. So let's, before we get more into the song, I just have a few more questions for you.
Sure.
Do you have an artist name that you go by, or is it just Dave Taylor?
I'm really shit at thinking about it.
No online handles?
I'm working on it. One day you'll wake up and my SoundCloud will be all fancy. Yeah.
So, do you remember when you first started to make music? And do you remember the first recording that you ever made? Like, be it like on a boombox with a microphone or something other?
That's what it was. Yeah, it was probably grade 9 or 10. Probably there was a tape player at my parents' house that had, I'm not sure if it was like a 2-track or there was something where you could do one overdub, on like a regular cassette tape. So I played around with that for a bit and realized it was really limiting. I couldn't really do much. So I think it was in grade 10 that I got a 4-track. Yeah, it was a Tascam. Hit the model, sort of standard gray Tascam. We all had.
It was either a Foztex or a Tascam at that time, right?
Yeah. So I got that and just started recording on that with one shitty mic, and didn't have a drum machine until I was a bit older. So any band that I was in high school, it worked out well that we'd rehearse in my parents' place because then I'd have access to the drums. So the rest of the week I could just go down to the basement and play drums, and then I would just sort of start recording demos like that.
That's awesome. That's the way to do it, man. So just to get into the beat now a little bit.
Yep.
Where did these? You mentioned that you had done a couple different versions or iterations of the song.
Right.
So your inspiration kind of floated like around a little bit. Like ultimately, where do you think the inspiration for your song kind of came from?
Because you sent out a full drum performance. My initial thought was it had to be really rhythmic, so I would start with that and then just kind of build it up like a puzzle. So the first thing I did is, I guess, the only thing that sort of stayed constant through different songs, which is I used the feature in Ableton to convert the MIDI. So I took you sound like an audio file with the drum performance you have. So I converted that to MIDI for me as a separate rhythm track, a drum track. And yeah, so I remember the original version was basically just with your drums, but then I had them going through a different drum machine sound. It was still your performance, but different sound. Played with that for a bit. Quickly turned it into sort of a dance song that I thought was great. And when I went back to it, realized it was not very great at all. But then moved on to a completely different song. But yeah, again, I started with the drums, sort of did the same thing, but then went in a completely different direction with everything else. So stripped it back and started again. So the final one that I did, you heard, it started the same, but I forget what BPM file was sent out. But
what it was 100. It was 136.
Yeah, so I slowed it down to like 124 or something. Like it was a pretty considerable jump down. As soon as I did that, that was sort of an accident. Like I was just playing around in Ableton, and I took something else, slowed it down, and then realized that was the song that I wanted to do. So it changed when I did that. And then the next big change was I started throwing in guitar loops from another song that I did in 2017. I did like a guitar loop song. Remember when I broke my toe?
Yes.
Remember that incident? I did some guitar looping tracks that were on SoundCloud for a bit. So I took one of those and made little loops and threw it in with the Golden song, and then kind of just sort of built other melodies on top of that. And yeah, so the song that I ended up giving you is kind of a Frankenstein's monster of a song, where it's drums from one year, guitar loops from another year, your drums, then around, slowed down. So again, they all started with the rhythm of it and turning your drums into a drum machine, but I couldn't decide, is it going to be the same speed? Is it going to be a slower thing? And yeah, slowing it down was what really got it going for me.
So really, out of all the songs that were submitted, yours was probably the most unique because of that. just if you listen to them all comparatively, because everybody else just essentially uses the exact track that I sent.
Right.
I know that between myself and Dan Rassico, and I think maybe Mike Waters, there was we've had talks about a certain drum fill that happens in the song, and all three of us, including myself, edited that part out. And I remember,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and it's funny because I remember making the beat and being happy with that drum fill, and I worked on it for like a week. It took me. It's weird to make a song with nothing but a drum beat in it, and
Right.
you know what I mean. Like I can play drums, but I would never consider myself to be a drummer. And I'm sure that there's drummers out there that would just, they'd be able to see the whole thing, before their eyes and just do it, right?
Right.
But compiling something like that, it's a weird task.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, because when I was making my song, I had no concept for a song. I just was like, I have to make a beat. And then when it came time for me to make my own, I went through several different iterations of songs. And in the end, my song was called The Sandbar, and, it is what it is. But I edited my own drum beat to make it work, because it didn't work for me at that point in time. And, I bring this up because, again, like, you took that whole beat and you were like, I'm just going to like sequence this, like you were saying, and put a whole nother beat on top of that.
Yeah, and I didn't remove anything. So that fill you're talking about, I'm not sure which fill it is, but like I didn't remove anything in there.
Yeah.
I might have brought the volume down a bit. Like when I got into the sort of the final stretch, you saw Needleton. So I guess I could do a screen share and show you everything. But yeah, there's like certain sections where I might have just good points and just sort of brought the volume down. So,
Yeah.
Or use like a live drum fill over top.
Sure. Automation or anything else, right? Like,
yeah. But I didn't remove anything. It's all there. So it was a nice sort of challenge.
No, it's
because
good.
Because it slowed it down, it all sounded like those fills sound really different. And they're 25 BPM slower.
Yeah. I think it's interesting how everyone has taken the source material and either chopped it or done whatever to it to necessitate their own creativity. And I think that's really in keeping with the spirit of what the Golden Beat is. And it's just, I think it's awesome. I think it's just really, really cool. So, and I just, kudos to you, sir. So let's get into the song itself. So right off the top of the song, you immediately get a sense of chillness. So really the whole song's got a really great, relaxed sort of thematicness to it, I guess. Thematic chill. It reminds me of Broken Social Scene's Pacific theme a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's definitely got a very Mogwai-ish sort of feel to it as well. But like a more chill sort of Mogwai kind of feel. And I know that you like those two kind of bands, or both of those bands. Would you say that they informed you in your choices in making the song?
I definitely got those vibes myself as it was going along. That always happens, if we're being honest. You start something and eventually you start to get that vibe. Like, oh, I know this song. I wasn't trying to make it sound like a specific band, but I was trying to make it sort of sound like an ambient dance song. I really wanted it to be groovy. So, like, the bass, for example, came sort of right at the end. Like, usually I would record a song, drums first, then bass. Well, a lot of times what I do these days is I'll do like a guitar part first or a keyboard part, like the rough track or whatever. And then do drums next, at the top of the back guitar, and then bass, and then you're good to go. That's your foundation, right? This one I did the bass sort of right near the end, which was kind of fun. Like it was just sort of like at the very, literally like, I don't know, 2 or 3 nights before I sent you the final track, I hadn't done a bass line. I tried, and it kept on falling apart. And I did that one in one take, and I was in a really good mood. And good mood, good night. Bass just sort of came out, and it was at that moment that I kind of realized that I was really happy with it, because if you don't have that, it does sort of sound like a very just sort of ambient guitar, just sort of sludges along. Bass, I think, is a little bit more of a groove.
It's definitely definitely a groovy bass line for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to sort of go for, is, you know, yeah, light and airy, but also
nice. It's funny how, I guess we've said this a couple times now, but it's funny how the mood has to strike correctly. You know, it has to, everything has to line up. Sometimes, you know what I mean? And then sometimes it's just, things just flow right out of you, and it's just like, I can't stop what's happening. You know what I mean? And that's a great feeling too. It's for me, I feel particularly the most creative first thing in the morning. So it's like, I get up, I have a cup of coffee, I get things started, and things just kind of happen a little more quickly first thing. How about yourself? Are you a morning or a nighttime sort of writer?
Both extremes. Morning and night. So,
morning and night,
Yeah, early morning works for me. But then, late at night as well, for sure. It depends sort of on the day you've had, I guess, too, right?
Yeah.
Like I was going to say, I don't find I've been making as much music lately, and I think it's just being at home a lot. Pandemic. You know what I mean? Like I find going to band rehearsals really inspiring, or just hanging out with bandmates or friends or whatever. Because we're not really in those routines right now, it's kind of hard to just pick up a guitar and go, "Oh, I'm really inspired." You know, like, what am I inspired by today? The living room. You know, because even here a year ago when we were doing that first sort of, the novelty hadn't worn off yet of being kind of something.
Right.
It's all good. I've been thinking a lot lately about making. So there's definitely some ideas.
Nice, they're floating around. That's great. So we've talked about how the song starts with that beat that you had recorded in my basement. Right. And it also starts with guitar.
Yeah.
What kind of guitar are you using for this track?
I think this is the 335 Pro series, a limited run, all black Epiphone 335. So mainly that, and Fender HH black top Jag. That for 10 years.
Nice. That's a nice guitar. I like that one.
It is. There's some wiring issues with it right now. Only one pickup works, but it's been, changed around a bit. It's in need of a setup. For sure.
I know my guitars need setups too, and I've watched so many videos online about doing your own setups, and I'm sure that I could do it, but I haven't. I think I'm just gonna take it to one of the shops in town.
For the spa day for your guitar.
Right? I've never taken a spa day myself, so why should my guitars get one?
It's great.
How many? Do you know how many guitar tracks you ended up having in your song? Like it's a very full song, right? Like there's a lot that's going on. Like you've got that one main riff that's going on, but like it's filled with all this other stuff that's happening.
I don't know. A song like that is probably the 10 project. Probably kind of thing. Some of those aren't. I mean, well, there might be a few more. Like some of them are just like tiny little parts and segments, right?
Like a little flourish of sorts.
Yeah. There's a few little weird noises that are just virtually there. So probably like maybe we sort of pull regular takes and then a few others that are just random.
Okay, that's awesome. So soon after the guitar comes in, that great groovy bass line comes in about 20 seconds into the song. what did you use to record the bass? As well as the guitars. Like, what's your interface of choice? You've already stated you're using Ableton. Well, what's your hardware setup? And are you using any pedals?
Yeah. So my interface is Scarlett. Lead input. Yeah, Focusrite, Scarlett. Lead input. Pretty dependable. Very portable as well. So I did the Nosferatu stuff with that onto a laptop, and I just used it here on my desktop. And I use that. Like bass, standard jazz, nothing fancy. Standard Fender Jazz bass. I don't have any preamps or anything. The bass does sound a little but also using a lot of waves plugins kind of help some of that. And for the guitar, some of it's through my amp, some of it's PI. Again, just sort of depended on. Sometimes if the idea comes in at 1 a.m, pardon, if you're only off.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
If you're miking your amplifier, what are you using to mic the amp with?
I sometimes use more SM58.
And I have your SM57.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been using that. I've got a different brand, but I've got a condenser mic that I use for vocals and drum overhead and stuff. But sometimes use that as an extra guitar mic. I was using 2 amps for a while, but I'm down to using 1 again. I had a small Fender that I was using with the 2nd amp. Sometimes I would turn both on at the same time. We should talk more about that sometime.
Mm-hmm.
For this, a lot of it was DI, and then for the amp, really quiet. One of the reasons I got this trainer amp is it's got 2 channel volumes, 2 regular channels. There's also master volume as well. Just not all amps have, and super helpful for dialing in the sound you want, but playing at a very tiny volume that nobody can hear.
Yeah, that's in a lot of the channels that I follow on YouTube, like gear-related channels.
Yeah.
That was always something that was a complaint back in the day. Amps not having a master volume, and needing and a lot of the times, guitar pedals help with that because you could, distort the front end and then just turn down the channel, and then your channel effectively became, well, it was your master channel anyways, right?
Right.
So you could crunch the front end of your amp and then just adjust your channel volume. But hey, put master channels on everything, guys, right?
Do it.
Just do it.
So the pedal board didn't get a huge workout on this, but a couple pedals are on there that I really like for my current build. Strymon Flint, tremolo and reverb is my favorite pedal now for both of those effects. Great pedal.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
There's a reverb on it. I think it's just called 80s reverb. But it's got a really, really good decay on it. Like it's the closest pedal sound I've had to that really, really long decay reverb that I had in the pedal that I sold you. I shouldn't have sold it.
That's the Eventide Space.
I should not have sold that pedal to you.
It's right here. I'm looking at it right now. I love that thing. It's amazing.
That was a really dumb decision.
If you want to borrow it, it's sitting right here for you, buddy.
Done.
We can work out a deal.
I could definitely use it for some recording.
Nice.
Great pedal, man.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So outside of pedals and guitars and bass guitars and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It sounds to me like you use some synthesizers on the track. Is that true?
Yes.
Are they hardware synths or software synths?
A little bit of both. I've got a good old trusty micro cord. So that's on there a bit, and then yeah, a few soft synths I've been using lately. One's a free one that I've done a lot of use of it called Tyrell. I forget the other soft synths I was using, but there's a few on there.
So really, Dave, were there any other instruments on the track? I mean, that you used that I haven't mentioned, just like tambourines, like record with a microphone kind of thing. Take us through some of that stuff.
There's a couple tambourine tracks, like different tambourines. There's some sleigh bells. They're on there.
I'm listening.
That I like. I like throwing those on. I always get a good vibe out of those. The usual stuff, yeah. The usual. I didn't try and get too fancy with it, but I did want to give you a song that had a good, soup sound going on. But
Nice.
yeah, but it's all sort of the standard, the usual suspects.
Right on.
Ambient guitars and percussion.
Well, Dave, I'm gonna have to say it was a delicious soup, and I've definitely gone back for seconds.
Fantastic.
I
I did want to mention, so at the beginning I said how I converted your drum audio file to a MIDI track and had that being played by a drum machine, like a soft drum machine, right?
Right. Yes.
I did that twice on this one. There's actually 2 tracks of your drum performance being played by a MIDI instrument. One of them's drum machine, which you can hear pretty clearly through the whole song. But the other one, there's this sort of synth, it almost sounds like steel drums or something in the background. And that one comes in and out quite a lot. That synth is also playing your MIDI drum performance.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, the drum machine one goes all the way through, but then the other one didn't always work. I think on some of those fills it would sound a little strange. So, either cut those out a bit or just mix them up. But they're in there.
Nice.
That was actually fun. That was also an accident. What I was trying to do is I was trying to find a different type of synth sound for your drum triggers, something that'd be still kind of rhythmic. And it must have been late at night because I accidentally selected a different MIDI instrument. And went, what the hell is that? It doesn't make any sense at all. But that was kind of cool.
Right on. Dave, thank you so much for submitting a song for the Golden Beat Project and for just being on the interview this evening and letting us into the creative mind, which is Dave Taylor.
My pleasure. Thanks for helping me new track. And yeah, definitely let's do another one. And hopefully them. Yeah.
Totally. So that just before we get out of here, if we do another session of Golden Beat, you'd be interested in doing another one?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have leftover tracks. I can do a new song, whatever you want.
Perfect. Right on. Again, Dave, thank you so much. Cheers.
Very welcome, Dan. Have a good night, buddy. Cheers.